Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm your host, Brett McCollum, and I'm here today with Joel Kraut. And today we're going to be talking about how we can use real estate to get to freedom. Before we do, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs to 2 to 5x their businesses, allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted, and allow them to build the lives they've always dreamed of. Without further ado, Joel, how are you, man?
How you doing today, Brett? Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on with you guys.
Man, I'm super excited to talk with you, man. We got to know each other quite a bit pre-show. Kind of trading some back and forth, like real estate war stories, that sort of thing. And guys, you're in for a good treat. Joel is a wonderful man. I'm excited for you guys to get to know him just like I have. But before we get too far into things, Joel, give us some background. Who are you? Who's Joel? Like that sort of thing.
So I actually graduated from Penn State University in 1984, went to work for Eastman Kodak, but quickly found my way to the trading world. So I worked on Wall Street for about 22 years, 25 years as an independent proprietary trader. So one of the unique things is we didn't have any customers. We just traded our own money for ourselves. It all started from a HELOC from my parents' house and grew into a business over time where we ended up with 55 people across 6 exchanges.
Wow.
So if you've ever watched the movie The Big Short, which many people in our industry have, we helped create some of the derivative products used in that movie and helped launch ETFs on the floor of the American Stock Exchange back in the early 2000s. And we've had an unbelievable, unique opportunity to see how some of that works in real life and participate in it. And from there, like many, we sort of morphed into the real estate world. You know, I found my way in through the realtor who actually sold me my first primary residence in New Jersey when I moved from New York to New Jersey. And together, you know, we started to find our way through. We did my first deal. I talked to you earlier, a really simple one. Bought a condominium, you know, 3-bedroom, 1 bath for 70 something thousand. And what happened though, what really opened my mind to real estate investing, a young lady came to me. Her name was Maria. She was a mortgage rep. And she said, "Mr. Kraut, I looked up your mortgage," which kind of freaked me out, to be honest, because I didn't realize in 1996 that all the mortgages were recorded instruments and public records. Like I wasn't thinking that way. I wasn't an investor. I was a regular Joe Blow. Just I bought a house and then I bought this first investment property. But she came to me and said, "You bought it really well." I had no idea. We could refinance the house, the condo. You could get all of your money back. You'll still own it. You'll still cash flow. And you won't have any money in the deal. And I just did that. I did. I got nervous actually because it sounded too easy. Being a Wall Street guy, someone tells me you're going to have everything for free, and it still like works.
Are you
Wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to call my friend. And I called up the realtor I knew, and I said, "Look, please don't laugh at me. I just have to ask you this question." And I ran her through, and of course she started laughing. She says, "Of course it's legal to refinance it." Well, I didn't realize that.
Mm.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But when we did it, I got about $16,000 or $18,000 back in my hand, and I had no money in the deal. I'm like, this is amazing. We went on and did 11 more deals together, Maria and I, over the next 2 years. So she did 22 mortgages with me out of actually just figuring out that one thing.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think she's one of the most creative mortgage reps I've ever worked with, and opened my eyes to what was possible. So from there, we went on, and, I'm a dad. I have 5 natural kids, 2 ex-step kids who I'm still friendly with, and one that I'm a guardian to. So 8 is enough, the old movie, old show, haha. But so we sort of have that mentality of being the annoying dad and teaching them about money and talking about my wins and mistakes, lots of mistakes, so that they can be aware and start to understand that at earlier ages.
Yeah.
And we were talking off camera, but, as a parent, for those of you out there, you go through that period when you're kind of the annoying person to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I assured Brett, they will circle back when they're a little older. And
Yeah.
thank you for some of that, because you really helped open their eyes, and now they're thinking about it in a very different way, and it's helping them get ahead of the curve as well. And, as a parent, you kind of feel like you did a good job for them in that regard.
Right.
Even though there was a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, we all learned something from it, and we used it positively for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And that's really the key. I mean, look, we all go through trials and tribulations. Nothing is perfect for any of us.
Yeah.
Anyone who says that is just lying, or, as I told you, too embarrassed to talk about their difficulties for a period of time. And the reality is, we're all human. We all really want the same thing. At the end of the day, we are all chasing freedom. The freedom to control how we live our day every day, choose what we want to do in the manner we want to do it, and figuring out and finding ways to work together to figure out how to get there, right?
Yeah.
If we do that well together, we've accomplished unbelievable things. And, for me at this stage of my life, our company is really about lifestyle, right? We meet people from all over America that are in the real estate biz, or trying to figure out if they should move from the stock market. What are they going to do with their cryptocurrency? And things keep changing and evolving, but at the core, people want freedom. And I feel like, in a little way, we get to help them on that journey all the time. And to me, that's the coolest part of what we do. So, that's worth very thankful for. We've been at it for a long time, and, truthfully, we've just been blessed. I mean, Burr.com has been a life-changing thing for us. And for me, after being in the war for a long time,
Yeah.
to now have friends all over the country is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And again, we talked a lot, like I said, we said pre-show a lot on some of this stuff. So, catching people up to speed a little bit here, right? You mentioned you were on Wall Street for, was it 22 years? Is that right? When did you exit that, and when did you start more on the full-time on the real estate side of things?
So I officially started 100% full-time in real estate in January of 2006.
Okay.
I've been buying and selling and flipping from about 2001 to then, and decided I knew enough, and I was going to finally,
Yeah.
we suffered a big loss in a position on the Wall Street side, and decided that it was time to morph and move over and not put whatever I had left into my trading account to potentially lose it again. I would put it into sticks and bricks, because, hey, sticks and bricks, what could go wrong, right? It's been around since the beginning of the Bible.
What happened 2 years later, right?
Exactly. Yeah. This was this great plan that went really awry. And I thought I understood leverage from being on Wall Street from 87 to then, but I really learned what leverage was about personally when
Mm-hmm.
that
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Back half of '07 through about '09 when things just kept going down.
Yeah.
I mean, I owned a couple of boat anchors, I like to joke, houses in the greater Newark, New Jersey area. And I was into them for back then for 300,000 each. They ended up getting sold out at the 155, 145, 170 level because I did not hit the 265 bid because I thought, oh, it'll come back. You know, when I had that opportunity, I could have escaped with a reasonable loss, but, you know, I was too smart for my own good and held
Yeah.
on. And, you know, I held on to the anchor.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a lesson in that too. Um, what's the Kenny Rogers song? You got to know when to hold them.
absolutely.
Know
Yes.
when to fold them. But I think as real estate investors, I know personally, and some of the stuff we talked about, that's kind of been with some of my MO was like, it's gonna work. Like, of course they're gonna work. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna worry about tomorrow because this thing tomorrow because it's gonna work out. Instead of know when to hold, know when to fold.
Yeah.
And sometimes hindsight's what they say. It's 2020. You think that it's gonna do this thing, you plan for it to do this thing, and sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't do the thing that you thought it was gonna do.
Yeah, but that's like with everything in life, right? So we have to stay calm, stick to what we understand,
Yeah.
not get too esoteric on ourselves because that's usually when we get in trouble, when we try to get too fancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, too many of those 0% credit cards exploding on me at 29% at the same time. And, you know, that's a killer. You know, I was
Yeah.
grossly over leveraged, but I've learned that lesson and I still use leverage. That's true, but I use it much more wisely.
Yeah.
And I invest more conservatively today as I'm still flipping houses. I'm in lower cost markets, in margins that make sense. And really, my big evaluation tool is can I lose money? If the answer is yes, I go to the next deal.
Yeah.
It's not how much can I make. You know, I've learned to look at things differently. And I learned that by the hard slap in the head, you know, the kick in the teeth, whatever the right expression is. But, you know, as you go through those experiences in life, it helps you gain much better perspective to what really can be. And in using that going forward, you have to use that as part of your equation or else you haven't learned anything. And that's a tough way to go. But, you know, groups like this, Investor Fuel and others around the country, you know, being in those types of rooms with those people that have the real experiences,
Yeah.
it's invaluable. So for people listening, you know, if you're considering whether you should make the leap of joining into some of these groups, you should give it some hard, real consideration.
Yeah.
See who's part of those groups and what you can really learn from them. And don't be embarrassed to go ask questions. You know,
Well, I think that's the whole point of this or any other group is, are you willing to be vulnerable enough to actually grow through your problem?
yep.
Um,
That's a good
and
way,
I,
good way to phrase it.
yeah, because like it's like in the real estate space, right? So I get questions a lot from people of like acquisitions. What your marketing is? How do you get people to call you? What's the best one? What works? What works? What works? Well, they all work,
Right.
right? A lot of these masterminds, they all work. It's how do you use the ones that are there, and if you're not using them the right way, you may as well not do it, right? As far as our groups and stuff go. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. I wanted to ask you more, because this is great, like already. If we stopped it here, just, all right, guys, listen to this 3 times and you're like, this is phenomenal. Burr.com, you gave me the story behind that pre-show and super interesting. Tell me, like, because that's where you guys are at today, what you're doing. But tell me, like, give me the history, like, kind of walk me through that.
So as we talked, I'd been a hard money lender and in the hard money space in the early, you know, 2010s and earlier. So I understood what it was. I'd seen the initial growth coming out of 10.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
To about 14, where we all became nice people, right? We became fix and flip lenders instead of hard money, bad people that would take your properties and overcharge you and all that good stuff. So as that changed, as people out there started to see us as a business solution, you could buy a property, fix it up a little, and resell it for a profit. That really became a big industry, the fix and flip business.
Mm-hmm.
Around 2018, we started to hear this word Burr a lot. We tried to figure out what was going on with it. We saw bigger pockets beginning, the early stages, and they had this huge following. Well, we were this little company called Orbit Commercial Capital, which kind of meant nothing. Some people would jokingly ask me if we were part of the gum company or, vice versa. And I was talking to my son one night here in the office, different office then, but he said, look, who owns Burr.com? So we did this simple thing. We went to Sergey and Bryn and we Googled it. And we found that someone who traded names for a living, we all have run into that with URLs.
Yep.
Owned it, not Bigger Pockets. We were stunned that they had spent umpteen millions of dollars promoting it and creating it, but they forgot to buy it. So we did. We literally got an intermediary to go to the third party. They wanted $10,000 originally. I'd never spent more than $29 for URL. And we negotiated a different price from $10,000, a little lower. I remember being afraid to hit the send button when it was time to send the wire, because we've never spent money like this before. This feels almost irresponsible, spending this kind of money for a URL. But it transformed our lives. It brought us some incredible adventures. We've met, literally tens of thousands of people across America from it.
Yeah.
Wherever we go, people actually already understand what we are, which is amazing. People in our industry know Kiavi. We used to be lending home, but they have to spend umpteen dollars to teach people what Kiavi is.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're a real estate investor, you know what Burr is.
Right.
You don't have to spend any money on that. So it's been an incredible adventure for us, an opportunity. We've met some really cool people through it, and we've been offered over $1 million for it. So it's pretty incredible. Our return on that was just insane. And
not 10K anymore, is it? Yeah, that's incredible.
It's unbelievable. So
just for a domain, right? Isn't that funny? It's like, wow.
Yeah, look, we do loans and all that good stuff associated with it, and they would have owned that. But really, when you get down to it and peel back the onion, the domain is the leader, and it's really the secret sauce. So
tell me the New Orleans story that we talked about, because that was super. Like, it just has a little funny in the middle of it, because I just thought it was kind of fun to talk.
So I was there with the usual guy I travel with. We went to the Bigger Pockets convention in New Orleans in 2021. That was the first big national event coming out of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
First time I remember going to a big one. And there were only 4 lenders in the room at the time. Burr was one of them. We got invited. And Brandon Turner, with the beard, from the face of Bigger Pockets at the time, came over to our booth to say hello and introduce himself. So, welcome to the team. Good to have you guys here. It's great to meet you. All that good stuff, being a good corporate exec type of feeling, being a promotion in face of the firm, Bigger Pockets. So Brandon, like, we're not really part of Bigger Pockets. He's like, you could see the puzzled look, like, how could that be, right? It's Burr.com. We own it, right? Well, no. Well, the private equity firm that owns our Bigger Pockets platform must own you guys. Like, well, no. So we explained to him how we got it, and he just thought that was insane. Like, he couldn't believe it also.
Yeah.
Took a couple pictures with us. Things kind of went viral. We met people from all over the country. We were at Bigger Pockets. We were Burr's on Bigger Pockets. They figured we were okay. And people literally from all over America started doing loans with us instantly.
Instantly.
We had people working till 2, 3, 4 in the morning for 6 months trying to catch up. We went from doing 200 loans a year to 1,000. It was unbelievable, honestly.
Yeah.
It was, people I knew for 10, 15 years who had borrowed money from me, calling me up, screaming at me, why are you ignoring me? Why are you avoiding? Like, we're not. We're literally just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Every day was a challenge in that way, but a great challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
we're really fortunate. We have a very tight core team. A lot of us have grown up together that work with us. My kids, I have 2 of my children here that really run the show for me.
Mm.
Some of their friends that have been in my car since they're either born or 8 years old work here, and people take tremendous pride in what they do. We're not perfect, that's true, but we work hard and we work really diligently for the customers to, be as successful as possible for them all over America. And it's been an unbelievable blessing to me and my family,
Yeah.
and just meeting people everywhere is awesome, so,
Yeah. And I
you know,
I can tell, I mean, this is the first you and I've had the opportunity to get to know each other. And I mean, I can just tell from our conversation, um, for whatever it's worth to anybody listening from me, if you treat people half the way you and I just had a conversation before, it's like, man, what a beautiful relationship between lender and borrower. Um, because that's a rare thing in my in the real in the lending space, that your lender or person on the other side
I
actually,
understand.
sorry for being a little crass when I says give a damn about you.
Yeah.
Um,
Look,
because
the reality.
it's really special to see that, though. And I think that maybe comes from your own walk and your own journey and the things that you've been through and how you then now treat other people.
Humility, as we talked about, can teach you to reevaluate everything in your life.
Yeah.
When I went through that in 7.5 through 10, one thing I took away from it and learned was everybody matters. And I don't care if someone's doing a $50,000 loan or 5 million, everyone matters. And I know whatever you're doing is the most important thing to you. And we need to try to do the best we can for you.
Yeah.
And we're also investors for a long time, and my family's been impacted by that, both good and bad. So they understand that, the trials and tribulations that go along with what you're trying to do. They know it's not just a piece of cake, for lack of a better term.
Hmm.
Uh, they know it's not Instagram, it's real life. And for us, it's a life journey. It's not, today's rate is 7 versus 7 and an eighth. I don't really see it that way. And I think that if that's the only thing someone can bring to you, when you reach a certain tipping point, that's okay. But before that, you need help. You need something in a relationship. You need to be able to build upon something so that you can keep growing, right? And
Right.
that's not just about what the interest rate is for the moment. It's what's going on in the market. People ask me for help all the time. We can help you with different zip codes in different areas if you're looking. I want you to be successful. Selfishly, I need you to. You have my money in your hand.
Yeah.
I really want you to be successful. So if you're going to go shopping in XYZ city, let us take a look at where we've already had a lot of clients in that area and where they've been successful. And let us give you a couple of those zip codes.
Yep.
I'll connect you with the realtor or two. What you do from there is on you, but I want you to be successful. I understand what kind of impact that can have for you and your family and change things or change things to the negative. And I don't want, this is not a contest to see how hard it can be for everybody,
Hmm.
right? That's not to say it's easy. But if we can help smooth some of those edges out, then we're doing what we're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
from there, you build relationships. I would say at worst, at the low end, 70% of our customers are repeat offenders. They do loans consistently with us. And that's, something's going on right there. I mean,
Yeah.
really, they're not just customers. I mean, they become friends. I mean, we're business friends. Some of them are personal friends over the years. And that's part of the amazing part of the whole journey together, right? It's
Yeah.
it's believable to see what some of these people have done. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I love that. Let me ask you this question. I was curious about. So you kind of, it sparked my thought when you mentioned interest rates. So on the Burr side,
Yep.
rates are now higher. You know, albeit not what it was maybe when you were in the early 90s and 80s. But like for us in modern real estate history,
Right.
current real estate history rather, they're higher than they've been. I know the main for people doing Burr, I don't know, 2019-ish through 2022, 2023 early, when rates were still so low, you could refi into a low rate, whereas now it's a little bit more challenging. What are you guys experiencing on that side of it in today's market? How are you guys pivoting, that sort of thing?
I've gone through this math example with a lot of people. We take out the whiteboard, we're speaking in front of 50 or 100 people, and let's take a look at interest rates. We had an unbelievable pipeline at 4%.
Right.
Amazing, right? I had, not to pick on Gen Z, people would call me up from all over America. They're serious long-term investors. They're going to hold the properties for 30 years. It's all good. They would take loans that brought them down to debt service coverage of 1.0. So they'd maximize their loans. And when you would look at it, basically they're earning nothing on the money they're putting in the deal. Time goes by, they need a new hot water heater, turn over a tenant, something else, they have no money.
Right.
So just because you borrow cheap didn't make you successful automatically. If you didn't do good deals, you pay the price for not doing good deals.
Sure.
At 7%, if you take a look at what Section 8 has done around America in October of 23, when they updated, you are actually able, in most cases, on an average loan size DSCR loan, to earn more free cash flow now than then. That's a hard concept for people to get their heads around.
Mm-hmm.
But we have people successfully investing in the cash flow areas around America, which there are multiple. And when I say multiple, in the double digits easily in markets, and making money at 7%. My first loan personally in 1996 as an investor was at 8 7/8. I never once thought about what about 4% because I didn't know we'd ever get there.
Right.
But what I cared about and what I believe every investor should care about is what is my cash on cash return to the money I have to put in the deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's different than being focused on the interest rate,
Truly.
right? Each year we're going to raise the rent a little, hopefully to offset the change in real estate taxes, maybe the water bill if you're paying the water bill, your insurance costs, such that you can stay even with that or maybe $1 ahead. So what is my real cash on cash return into the deal? And can I use the Burr method in those markets to potentially get all my money back out? Yes, maybe I don't get a big fat check to walk home with in most markets anymore in those transactions, but I can still get to neutral and get my money and move on to my next deal. So that has changed a little. In that, we've done a lot more fix and flip loans than we used to do, a lot more new construction than we used to do. We still see new construction is pretty hot around the country in a lot of the markets. So that's been a big change and a big plus for us.
Mm-hmm.
We started out absolutely when we went to that Bigger Pockets conference, we were the DSCR lender. That was
Mm-hmm.
85% of our business. Now we're much closer to 50-50.
Wow. Okay.
So that's been a dramatic change for us. But
Yeah.
the core principles of being an investor haven't changed since the beginning of the Bible, no matter what version you read, right? I mean, someone paid some way in some manner for a place to live.
Yeah.
That is still going on today. And Google and Amazon and Apple haven't taken it away yet. So I'm still a believer. And, for me, I love the single family house. I know it's not as sexy as owning a 100-unit multifamily building, but I still believe everyone goes to sleep in America dreaming of living in their own house.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep dreaming of living in an apartment 13H,
Right.
right? So I'm a believer in that. I
That's
keep it
incredible.
simple, and I think if
Well, I
people
think it's a
do,
testament to your journey and your career and your path is all right, because here's the thing, if you put your head down in the sand and you say, we are the DSCR lender and that's all we're going to do, we're never going to change that. We are this company. That's all we're going to do. I mean, you navigate, you pivot, you do like, you know what? Now, yes, we are the DSCR lender, but we're also able to pivot to handle this and that too, to be able to be the responsible lending company that you are today. versus, no, I'm just going to do this one thing. And then maybe that, like, and you might have still had success. I don't know. But what I can, like, you said it too, 70% of your business is repeat clientele. And that's for a reason, is because you're taking care of these people.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some of our best deals on a Sunday, 6
Mm-hmm.
o'clock in the morning, from India calling, South Africa, the Middle East, Europe. I mean, we've been very fortunate, honestly. A lot of times we can't even figure out how the people heard of us, but someone Googled Burr something and found us, and that's been great.
It's super cool, though. I mean, it's just almost fascinating. Like, you start, like, I love like origin stories, just of all kinds of companies. Like, how did this company, come to be? And just I think it's
Like
really wonderful that how that came to be. It's super
we
cool.
never marketed. We started off my own customer base. I'd been around in the lending world since '01, and a lot of my commercial clients own these other properties. And we just started telling them about what we do, and they started to finance us with us because they were sick of banks. They just didn't want to get all the questions.
Yeah.
It just kept growing from there. And then we started to go to some of these events like Bigger Pockets, and it really took off. So we've been really fortunate. We spent infinitely less than almost every other company in the country that does what we do on marketing.
Hmm.
I mean,
That's beautiful.
it's only recently that our website is even has any backlinks. I know it's a little embarrassing to admit that, but yes, we did zero SEO marketing, zero.
Yeah.
Not like a little, we did zero. So,
Incredible.
and we built a real business. So we've been very fortunate. I mean, honestly, we're just trying to help people, and
Yeah.
sometimes that really works out. And that's how I feel that's what's happened for us.
Yeah. Incredible. Let me ask you this. So before we kind of wrap the show up, um, if you could leave like one bit of like something that's had staying power inside of you, that like something that you've held on to for years, like this is, I've struggled with this, or this has made me excited, like something you could leave to the audience of something that really stays with you, what would you say?
I would tell people never be afraid to ask questions.
Hmm.
There's no question that's embarrassing. If you're in a group of people and you don't understand the answer, ask someone else. You'll find a person you communicate well with, but not getting that knowledge and that information can kill you.
Hmm.
Our business can be really, really rewarding. It can be very challenging. Even when it looks simple, there's still going to be challenges. You're dealing with people, finding people who have some experience and going to them and being honest. I'm asking you for some help, some knowledge, some input. I'll do whatever, silly job task you want to help offset for you. So I bring some value to you. I'm willing to work hard. I'll be your runner on the job site, whatever it takes to get that two-way street going. But if you're honest with people, our industry will give you an unbelievable amount of knowledge for free. And it's one of the unique industries in that respect. So please ask questions. Don't be afraid. If you're
I
not
love that.
comfortable with people you're working with because you feel like they're giving you the runaround, they've asked you for upfront money, they're not really answering your questions, just hang the phone up and go to the next person. You'll find a person that you hit it off with, you feel good with. That's the people you're going to give most of your business to. You should always have door number two. So you give door number two a little love too. This way you have another option just in case
Yeah.
at that moment. So I think, people make the mistake of stop asking questions. I'm doing this since 1996. I travel around the country. One of the greatest parts of traveling is I get to learn new things all the time from people doing things in different markets that I'm sitting in physically. And that has been probably my greatest weapon, bonus, ally, whatever we want to call it, to be able to help other people with. Is just
Incredible.
learning every day.
I love that. Oh man, this has been great. Joel, if people want to reach out to you guys at Burr, or to, like, what's the best way for that to happen?
The easiest thing is just to go to burr.com, B with 4 R's.com. Hit us up there, drop a note. We'll get right back to you. People call me all the time. My information is literally all over the internet at this point. My phone numbers, my emails, my phone numbers at 732-598-0351. And we do answer it. We work still. And
Yeah.
you can find us on Instagram at burr.loans. Again, we don't have Autobots. We really are people answering the stuff and talking to people. So we look forward to that opportunity. We appreciate being on with you guys today, Brett. And I really enjoyed our conversation offline also.
Yeah.
Great when you meet people who can really be real. And that's one of the awesome parts of our whole business and industry. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for having me on.
And Joel, you've been great. And guys, seriously, go follow, go like, subscribe, all the things, and then really seriously reach out to these guys. They're great people. And I can tell you, as somebody that's been doing this for a long time, also finding a relationship with a company that's going to actually truly care about you, it's often, unfortunately, but it's rare these days. So Joel, man, you're a leader in our space, and I really appreciate talking with you, man.
Thanks a lot, Brett. You have a great
All right, guys, until the next one, take care. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.